Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself.
For your 60th birthday, was there a big, like...
I'm not 60 yet, Kev.
When is it?
I just turned 58.
Just turned 58, so it's kind of, well, basically you're 60.
But at the same time, like I said, in me, I'm 56 years old.
Damn!
There's some intriguing gossip circulating about Don Cheadle and Dr. seemingly throwing shade at Kevin Hart. They're subtly suggesting that Kevin's involvement in Hollywood goes beyond acting, hinting at a behind-the-scenes role. But what's the real story here? Here's the scoop. In 2021, Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle were engaged in a conversation about age and its significance on Peacock's Heart to Heart series. This show aimed for spontaneity and authenticity, but just a week after its debut, a clip from the show went viral on Twitter. In the clip, Cheadle mentioned his age, and Hart attempted to joke about it. However, despite Hart's efforts to smooth things over, Cheadle didn't seem impressed. "Just understand I did not mean it the way it came out." Hart apologized, but Cheadle wasn't easily placated. I'm sorry. We'll take a poll on how you meant it with people here later after the show's over," he retorted. The situation escalated further when Cheadle pointed out the difference in Hart's tone when he said "damn" later on compared to initially. These were two different dams, Cheadle stated plainly. The clip gained significant traction on social media, amassing over 20,000 shares and 70,000 likes. Some viewers perceived Hart's behavior as somewhat rude towards Cheadle. "He looked like the words actually hit him in the face," one observer commented on Che's reaction. Another viewer took to Twitter, expressing discomfort at the exchange. But that's not all the drama. Kevin Hart found himself in a spat with none other than Dr. Dre, the renowned artist and business mogul. Hart jokingly accused Dre of fibbing about his age, suggesting he might be older than he claims. Buckle up for more Hollywood drama. Kevin Hart stirred the pot once again, this time with bold remarks on his show. Inviting Will Ferrell as a guest, Hart made a comment hinting they should collaborate soon because Will's time on Earth might be limited. With the statement, "I'm knocking on 60's door, you're knocking on 60's door," Hart delivered a jaw-dropping moment. This not only sparked discussions, but also raised concerns about how far Hart would go for a laugh, even at the expense of his respected colleague. Hart's comment momentarily stunned Ferrell, who eventually gathered his thoughts and confronted Hart about his alleged inside knowledge of a life-threatening condition Ferrell himself wasn't aware of. Fans were impressed by Ferrell's response, which appeared to disarm Hart's jive.
Do work again, Will, because I don't know how much time you got left. And I would love for us to do something before it's too late, man.
It was a clever maneuver that even caught Kevin off guard. However, some believe Kevin was simply embodying his comedic persona, yet the undeniable chemistry between him and Will made their quick wit and ability to bounce off each other's jokes made for compelling viewing, even when tensions arose. But the drama didn't stop there. Kevin found himself in a disagreement with none other than Dr. Dre, the iconic artist and entrepreneur. Kevin audaciously joked about Dre's age, implying he might be older than he claims. More recently, actor and comedian Monique weighed in, suggesting that Kevin Hart might be a pawn of Hollywood, mocking comedians in need. Despite acknowledging Kevin's financial support during her struggles, she hinted at underlying motivations behind his actions. These comments arose during an appearance on Kevin's podcast, Comedy Goldmines, where he introduced her in an unconventional manner. During the podcast, Monique also aired her grievances with Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, who hadn't publicly apologized to her. Kevin Hart offered to intervene with Perry to reconcile, but Perry showed no interest. Instead, Hart pledged support for Monique's projects, including a talk show deal with her husband, Hicks. However, Hart's manager allegedly conveyed that Hart wanted no involvement with Monique's endeavors. Despite promises to resolve the issue, Hart and Monique never spoke again after their initial conversation. Monique also criticized The Breakfast Club, recalling a tense 2018 interview where Charlamagne the God dubbed her Donkey of the Day for boycotting Netflix. Despite resolving the issue, Monique felt The Breakfast Club lacked the same support they initially offered. Charlamagne the God later acknowledged this mistake on air, admitting he should have stayed out of others' affairs. In June 2022, Angela Yee reported on The Breakfast Club about Monique's settlement with Netflix, though they didn't delve into specifics. Interestingly, Monique isn't the only one calling out Kevin Hart. Just a month prior, Cat Williams also criticized Hart's rapid Hollywood success during the same podcast, questioning the authenticity of his journey and labeling him a plant for seemingly bypassing the typical comedian's struggle despite his East Coast comedy roots. While seemingly contradictory, Williams delved into the inconsistencies in Hart's narrative, challenging the notion of overnight success. However, Hart himself addressed these rumors in a 2014 interview with Oprah Winfrey. He emphasized that despite the appearance of sudden success, he had been grinding in the entertainment industry for 8 years, paying his dues multiple times over. Hart acknowledged the significance of learning from industry predecessors, surrounding himself with reminders of comedy icons like Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, and Richard Pryor. These mentors served as sources of inspiration as he chased his Hollywood dreams. Hart stressed that his success wasn't instantaneous, but rather the result of dedication and lessons learned from those who paved the way before him. In an interview, Kevin Hart expressed his relentless pursuit of greatness as his driving force in Hollywood. He firmly believed that his unmatched determination set him apart from others. "What separates me is my drive," he asserted. "My drive is other people's success." However, Cat Williams went beyond questioning Hart's rapid rise to fame. He delved into the inner workings of Hollywood, disputing the notion that there are no gatekeepers in the industry. Williams argued that he had observed individuals controlling access to opportunities, citing Hart's alleged involvement in Tiffany Haddish's entry into the industry as an example. Additionally, Williams addressed comedic standards, explaining that his refusal to compromise on certain content had cost him opportunities. He advocated for a more thoughtful and considerate approach to comedy, free from outdated and potentially offensive tropes. Williams has a history of calling out Hollywood elites and their questionable practices. In a 2013 interview, he discussed the phenomenon of Black actors feeling pressured to wear dresses on screen to advance their careers, sparked by Dave Chappelle's revelations about rejecting a lucrative deal from Comedy Central and refusing to wear a dress in a movie scene. When asked about Chappelle's claims in 2012, Hart emphasized the importance of personal boundaries, hinting at his unwillingness to compromise his principles for the sake of his career. While he didn't outright reject the notion of wearing a dress on screen, Hart made it clear that certain boundaries were non-negotiable for him. He even disclosed some unusual requests he'd received, like dribbling a basketball on a talk show, which he politely declined. Hart stressed the importance of safeguarding his brand and highlighted the potential risks of compromising it. However, just a year later, Hart appeared in an SNL skit wearing a dress, drawing sharp criticism from fans. Some accused him of betraying his principles, arguing that he contradicted his earlier stance. The skit depicted him as a 9-year-old child pope, an image that many felt didn't align with the Kevin Hart they knew. Cat Williams seized this opportunity to reignite the feud. He suggested that Hart's actions on SNL were part of a broader pattern, insinuating that Hart willingly conformed to industry norms to secure fame and fortune. Williams believed that Hart's success shielded him from criticism, noting that many comedians before him had worn dresses in movies like Big Mama's House and similar media franchises. Williams didn't directly attack Hart, but subtly questioned the choices made by comedians striving for mainstream success. He hinted that some entertainers, including himself and Dave Chappelle, were willing to challenge the status quo and might never achieve the same level of fame as Hart. The feud intensified when Kevin Hart, frustrated with Williams' insinuations, expressed his anger during an appearance on the Breakfast Club radio show. Hart accused Williams of evading responsibility for his actions, particularly his legal troubles and substance abuse issues. He argued that Williams had squandered opportunities and posed a risk to studios, leading to a decline in his career. Hart didn't hold back. He squarely blamed Williams for his choices.